Wow, what an episode. Okay, so um let me start by saying I do not give a fuck at all about this entitled white woman at all. Um and I don't know if y'all listen to the On Fire podcast, which is the Survivor official podcast hosted by Jeff, co-hosted by Dee this season. They have a different player co-host each season. Last season it was Rick Devens. And the like producer of the podcast acts as like the fan perspective. So it's showrunner, player, fan. Even though I feel like they need like a real fan to come and be on, namely me, but we'll see. Anyway, what Jeff said last week on the show, if I'm understanding him correctly, is that Liz was told that they were not going to modify the game for her, and she chose to play anyway. So why am I supposed to have all this sympathy for you about not eating when you knew that your primary diet was going to be coconuts? And you chose to come anyway, knowing you're allergic to coconuts and fruit. I don't understand why I'm supposed to have sympathy for you. Next, you want somebody who you voted out at the last tribal. You wanted to vote out. You wrote his name down to take you on a reward to eat. If you had wrote my name down and voted me out and tried to take $1 million away from me, not only would I not have taken you on the reward, I would have smiled in your face while you cried about not eating because you tried to take $1 million away from me. And honestly, why are you even here? You're already rich. You've repeatedly said that you don't care about the money. Why are you even here? So, yeah, I thought Liz's behavior tonight was disgusting. I thought it was entitled. I thought it was incredibly childish. And also, so Liz says that she got frustrated when the people who went on the reward came back and talked about their food. And they talked about how they got so full because your stomach shrinks, so they haven't been eating. They got so full, none of them even touched the burger. Liz is going to say, read the room. You mean the room where people asked them, how was the reward? And so they answered? Please, can somebody tell me in the comments, is there anybody who is not black that Liz has showed annoyance at on this show? Please answer, because I don't think there is. And then also, Ben referring to Q as a bully. When have you seen Q bully anybody, Ben? Like, these white people are really getting on my fucking nerves because neither one of you has done anything in the game. Literally nothing. So, I don't understand why there's so much mouth. There's so much mouth and so little gameplay. Even Kenzie is outplaying y'all. So please. So while Liz completely losing her shit and flying off the handle was good TV, it annoyed me and I didn't really enjoy it. And what I am pleased to see is on the timeline, a lot of people are talking about how entitled she is and how she chose to go on the show. So I'm happy to see that. Have not seen one person other than myself call her angry yet, though. But had this been Tiffany, it would have been angry black bitch all up and down the timeline. But okay, girl. So let's move to the next thing. Okay, so Q wins the reward, which I'm happy for him for. I'm really happy that he brought Tiff. He brought Maria. He brought Kenzie. He's trying to get the gang back together. And this is what I always say about these rewards. Who you pick is very important for your game. So he picked Tiffany because he's trying to reconcile with her. Smart. And also, I think even though he blew up her game, and I'm really upset with him for that, I still kind of feel like the person in the game that he was closest to was Tiff. Because this is what I always say about these rewards. Pick one person you're closest to make sure you have fun. pick another person who you're trying to build a relationship with, but you're not quite there yet. And then the third person, you can pick somebody in an attempt to make a power move and become a voting block, or you can pick another person that you're trying to build a bond with or another friend. But you have to pick at least one person that you're close to, especially somebody that would be upset if you didn't pick them. So one person that you're close to so you can have fun and so they won't be upset, and one person you're trying to build a bond with. But once you pick those two, you can really, if you get 3 picks, you can do whatever you want with the third one. So Q basically did exactly that. He chose Tiffany. He chose Maria because he sees that the beginning of that bond is there. He's trying to strengthen it. And then he chose Kenzie in an effort to kind of rekindle Yanu, because it was not smart for him to give that up, because they could have been a voting block and continued to vote together. Even though Kenzie wanted Tiffany out, he could have still worked with Kenzie if Tiffany went home. So I think all his picks were smart. What he suggested at the sanctuary, okay, well, Yanu and Sika can work together and that could be a 5. I thought that was very smart. I would have done the exact same thing. I would have tried to make a 5. Now, didn't work out because they ended up voting Tiffany out, but I think it was a smart idea. So kudos to him for that. And lastly, this incredible Black queen right here. Tiffany, I don't know if you're on TikTok, but if you ever see this, you played an incredible game. An incredible game. You were a pleasure to watch. I think you represented Black women very well. I was so excited to see you find an idol because last season no women found idols. I think you carried yourself very well, and they had no choice but to get you out because you would have won. You played an incredible, incredible game, and it sucks that I'm not going to get to watch you play anymore. I really hate that you did not sense that you needed to play your idol, because me personally, y'all can let me know if you disagree. I think like Q kept looking back and he kept saying that he was trying to get people to vote with him and do something else. He said it twice. I personally believe that Q was trying to tip Tiffany off to play her idol. Now, obviously, he's not going to go up to her and tell her, because that means that he would have gone home. But what he could have done is he could have told her, and he could have said, Maria is the one orchestrating this. You, me, and Kenzie can vote Maria, and Maria will go home. Now, I have said in my spaces that I do on Twitter, which y'all should come to, it's the same handle, Legal Sojourner. I'm doing tomorrow's at 10:45 p.m. Eastern time. So come if you see this. What I always have been saying this whole season is, because Q and Tiffany played their whole game together, they can't go to Final Tribal together, because they're going to be arguing over who did what, who's responsible for what. And they both have that same story of, we didn't have fire for 10 days and we could barely eat for 10 days and we suffered for 10 days. So one of them had to cut the other. I was really hoping and praying Tiffany was going to cut Q, because I really wanted Tiffany to win, but I understand why he was willing to let her go. And so we'll see if he wins, because with what happened this season, Q is kind of bringing me back in. And so I wouldn't mind him winning now. Charlie, you won another immunity. Kudos to you. So smart for you to practice grip strength. I'm really, really proud of you. And Tiffany, you did your best. You held your own. I'm really, really proud of you as well. And that's about to be it. So see y'all at the next one. Deuces.